l'association avec MSS. Pendant que nous la supportons, en octobre, nous avons répondu à une tragédie sur le crime de plus de 100 personnes innocentes en Éthiopie, avec un établissement de base. Et nous continuons la présence de MSS et la police nationale, des personnels toujours là pendant que nous parlons. Et aussi nous établissons ces bases, comme vous le voyez, et aussi nous avons fait d'autres mises pour inclure le port et la police nationale. C'est une image de sécurité que nous avons au niveau des ports. Mais le travail continue pour qu'Haïti aille de l'avant et toutes ces évaluations sont faites pour mettre la base afin de récupérer l'espace et nous battre contre ces criminels.
Another aspect of the MSS sojourn, as you see, Guatemalan force here, they have been critical in the protection of infrastructure and safeguarding vital installation. That work continues, and our team from Guatemala has done an excellent job in terms of securing this vital infrastructure. Now we'll be going to a video for Medivac support service. As this was methodically built out, our Medivac and Casivac capabilities to ensure critical medical assistance to MSS and
Je vais le laisser parler. Monsieur Paul, MSS en Haïti, ils opèrent à partir de Port-au-Prince et notre mission, c'est de faire des évacuations médicales pour nous assurer et transport rapide de gens qui ont eu des problèmes. Et aujourd'hui, nous sommes engagés pour sauver des vies et d'être avec nos partenaires internationaux pour supporter la paix et la sécurité en Haïti.
Right. And as we move into our community engagement activities, we have coordinated baseline.
C'est bien compris? Vous avez compris?
Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Merci.
Thank you.
Excellent. As I was indicating that our coordinated baseline community engagement programs seek to galvanize the community in sustainable partnerships and peace-building initiatives. We are looking at some of the other initiatives, photographs on screen. I remember in December we had many partners and we stepped up and was a part of the Christmas tree and blood donation drive where the MSS donated up to 50 liters units of blood that is during that blood drive. We also had our medical camp on this ground right here. Over 250 parents and students and children were treated by our medical officials from the MSS, as well as other supporting partners, and that was a critical aspect. We also were engaged in community engagement activities such as flag raising ceremonies in schools. As you see here, we participated in the Peace Marathon. That was an excellent initiative, and we also use sports as part of our outreach program. And we have other programs that are planned in the pipeline that will be executed along with our partners as we move forward. Importantly, welfare is also a big part of sustaining the troops on the ground. So through exercises, various exercises, we engage to encourage physical activities. We also have spiritual component where members are exposed to and are able to attend those ceremonies and continue their spiritual rituals. That is also part of welfare building. And we are strong on that, and MSS Sports Command supports this wholeheartedly. Now, a critical part of also the community engagement director rests on two pillars. We spoke earlier about the baseline community engagement initiative. However, I must repeat, and the MSS Sports Command is always a faith for us to be repeating this over and over, that the MSS mission has zero tolerance to human rights violations being committed. And we have demonstrated not only in words but in deeds, because we have been party to all the frameworks that are important for the human rights compliance policies. The compliance, oversight, and accountability policy, the conduct and discipline policy, and I mentioned also the complaint reporting mechanism, CRM, that was established to monitor, receive, process, and investigate reports that are of human rights violations and other infractions. And I must say at this point, special thanks to the OHCHR technical assistant advisory team that has worked with the MSS in terms of making this policy implementation of purification. Thank you so much to OHCHR and the technical advisory team. As we move, training is a big part of our continuous training of what we do at MSS. And we have been doing it throughout this year. Intense post-deployment training on human rights compliance framework, tactical operation maneuvers, weapons, intelligence, surveillance, equipment, and also language tutoring. You see a whole host of post-deployment training. Of course, we have pre-deployment training, that is before the troop contributing countries deploy their troops to the mission. They undertake pre-deployment training. However, once they assign the mission, we continue that post-deployment training, and we'll roll as we go along to ensure that these initiatives are continuing. Now, we have, of all that we have been doing, I want to share with you some of our achievements coming from all of that over the last 365 days. We have the opening of roads by the MSS. Of course, yes, when the MSS got here, a lot of roads were barricaded and inaccessible. They assisted, along with the Haitian National, support of the Haitian National Police, to ensure that these access routes were reopened. The facilitation of HNP training, establishment of FOVs, forward operating bases, and I just pause to tell you how important forward operating bases are. Because if you are clearing and pacifying, and you don't have the ability to hold, then when you leave without a base strategically located, then your work will have to be repeated. And we have seen that on many occasions. So the importance of establishing these forward operating bases is critical to our operational response infrastructure. Improve security in Delmas, Salino, Port, Port, and downtown. As I mentioned, not where we need to be yet, but we cannot take for granted or underestimate the work that has been done by the MSS and Haitian National Police in this regard. Gradual return of soft lights at the main airport, and that's a work in progress. Next slide. We have also partnered, as I said, in support of the Haitian National Police in the recovery and seizure of several illegal weapons on some of those high-profile, high-value targeted operations that we have mentioned earlier. At this point, I will turn over to my colleague who will take us through a minute or two of his presentation.